Welcome to this month's installment of Science in the News, titled Finding Patterns in Chaos, How Simple Rules Form Complex Behavior. My name is Kat. I'm one of the coordinators for this talk, in which you'll be learning about a relatively abstract topic, but a useful tool in helping to understand the complexity that surrounds us, that we take part in, and that makes us up. I'd like to begin by telling you a little bit about who you'll be hearing from today. Our speakers are all three Yale graduate students from various fields at the university. First, Jack will take the stage. Jack comes from the Mechanical Engineering and Materials Science department, where he studies soft condensed matter and biophysics, meaning that he looks at soft and squishy materials, their properties, and their different characteristics via computer simulations. Next, we'll hear from Lauren, who comes from the genetics department, where she studies molecular mechanisms of early development, which is to say, what's going on in a cell at the very start of its trajectory towards becoming an adult organism. And lastly, Alyssa, who comes from the psychology department, where she studies comparative cognition, which means that she thinks about what and how animals think about the environment around them. In order to tell you a little bit about what you'll be hearing about, I'd like to point your attention to this schema here. On the left, you'll see proteins that construe cells. Cells come together to create organisms. Lots of organisms form collectives, and many collectives form communities. And the way that one of these bubbles advances to the next, or rather how one brings forth the next, is through a concept called emergence, which is basically how has to do with individual elements and the connections that relate them, and the surprising results that come about from this simple paradigm. Jack will tell you more about this concept and give you examples of it among organism behavior. Then we'll hear from Lauren, who will tell us about how proteins and cells also are a product of emergence. And lastly, Alyssa will explain the seemingly complex world of communities and collectives and how those are a product of emergence as well. So without further ado, hope you enjoy.